Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and unravel what is, frankly, one of the most thrilling cat and mouse chases in internet history. We're looking at a story that combines incredible technical sophistication, completely bizarre personal double lives, and one of the most brilliantly executed law enforcement traps ever conceived.
We begin with a staggering fortune, $23 million. Now, this immense wealth belonged to a dark web mastermind who, for years, operated as an untouchable ghost. I mean, he had absolutely no idea that his digital empire was crumbling around him, or that the very people planning his downfall were sitting literally just meters away.
Picture this. It's June 2017. Investigators have tracked their target all the way to Thailand, and they're just sitting quietly in a hotel lobby. Suddenly, they watch this multimillionaire walk right past them for a business meeting. The dramatic irony here is just unbelievable. The agents knew this man would be dead in just a month, but he was completely oblivious. He just carried on as if he were still totally invisible. Part 1. The Dark Web Power Vacuum. After Silk Road, things changed fast. To understand how our mastermind built his sprawling empire, we really have to look at the fall of the original dark web giant. Back in February 2011, Silk Road launched, and it completely changed the dark web by proving you could buy illicit drugs anonymously. So authorities track it for 2.5 years, shut it down, and give the owner a life sentence. They honestly thought this would terrify other criminals, but instead, it just created a massive rush to fill the void. Barely 35 days after the takedown, opportunistic criminals launched Silk Road 2.0. The customer base was just way too lucrative to ignore.
But this new gold rush was highly unstable. As new marketplaces popped up, they'd often vanish just as quickly through something known as an exit scam. Sites like Evolution and Agora would just abruptly shut down, and the owners would disappear into the digital ether, taking all the cryptocurrency their customers had deposited with them. So dark web buyers were getting ripped off constantly and were absolutely desperate for a reliable, stable new marketplace.
Section 2. The AlphaBay Empire. A new dark web hub emerges.
Enter AlphaBay. This site capitalized perfectly on the chaos. It started humbly enough, mostly selling stolen credit card details, but rapidly escalated into a massive global hub for drugs, malware, and illegal weapons. The sheer scale of it was absolutely terrifying. It didn't just replace Silk Road, it completely dwarfed it, eventually boasting over 300,000 illicit products for sale. It literally became the Amazon of the underworld. And what made it so powerful was the network effect. They had 40,000 anonymous sellers fueling the platform every single day. The owner didn't have to source a single drug or weapon himself. He just provided a secure platform and watched the sellers flock to his marketplace. By taking just a tiny slice, a 2 to 4% commission fee on every single transaction across those 300,000 listings, AlphaBay's enigmatic founder, who went by the username Alpha02, quietly became a multimillionaire. He was the ultimate middleman, just pulling the strings and collecting immense passive income. Now, Alpha02 wasn't your average tech guy. He ran this illegal empire like a Fortune 500 company. He delegated daily technical operations to his deputy, known as D-Snake, and get this, he even hired a dedicated PR manager. For an illegal weapons and drugs site, he also enforced some very specific, bizarre rules to protect the brand. For instance, strictly no hitmen for hire, and, super curiously, 0 sales of Russian bank account details were permitted. That specific rule about Russian bank accounts drove investigators crazy. Was Alpha02 actually Russian, trying to avoid poking the bear of local authorities? Or was this a highly calculated distraction to throw American investigators off his scent? While investigators spent their time second-guessing his motives and fruitlessly ordering packages, they only ever managed to catch the low-level sellers packing the boxes. The mastermind, Alpha02, remained a total ghost.
Part 3. The Fatal Flaw. A massive breakthrough finally arrives.
DEA agent Robert Miller knew they couldn't just hack their way in. The bouncing servers of the dark web made tracking the site online practically impossible. But then, in December 2016, a critical lead dropped. Someone, an investigator suspect it might have been a jealous rival trying to take out the competition, sent Agent Miller an old automated welcome email. It was just a simple "thank you for registering" message from AlphaBay's initial beta testing phase, sent way before the site had scrubbed all its identifying data.
So here is the crucial point. Hidden in the header of that welcome message was a single, incredibly amateur email address, pimp_91@hotmail.com. The smartest dark web kingpin in the world had used a personal Hotmail address to configure his initial servers. That one tiny slip-up single-handedly unraveled an entire criminal empire.
Section 4. Unmasking Alpha02. Tracking Alexander.
By tracking that old Hotmail address, investigators completely ripped away his digital mask. They traced the email to a Canadian man named Alexandre Cazes, and his digital footprint? It was shocking for a supposedly invisible kingpin. He had an old 2009 profile on a French social media site, a dating profile under the alias Troy, and most bizarrely, the mastermind of the world's biggest illegal marketplace was active on pickup artist forums. He was literally asking strangers for relationship advice and airing insecurities about his marriage. They tracked him to Thailand, where he lived with his wife, but also maintained 2 separate houses near the border, which investigators dubbed his bachelor pads for partying.
Which brings us right back to that unbelievable moment in June 2017. Agents sitting in a Bangkok hotel lobby hear a loud Porsche pull up to the gate. Out steps Alexandre Cazes. They watch their oblivious target casually walk in, sit down at a nearby chair for a meeting, and then leave. It was the very first time they had laid eyes on Alpha02.
Part 5. Operation Bayonet. The brilliant trap is set. The FBI learned that Dutch authorities were simultaneously working to take down AlphaBay's European rival, a site called Hansa Market. So they teamed up for a massive joint initiative, Operation Bayonet. They realized they didn't just want Alexander, they wanted to catch everyone using his platform. The trap was ingenious. Step 1, arrest Alexander and shut down AlphaBay. Step 2, knowing the dark web buyers would panic, wait for them to flock to the next biggest site, Hansa Market. Step 3, harvest all the data. Because what the criminals didn't know was that the Dutch police had secretly already taken over the Hansa Market servers. They were walking right into a digital net, perfectly designed to catch thousands of criminals.
Section 6. The ultimate takedown. The final move.
To execute the final move, there was a major catch. They had to arrest Alexandre while his heavily encrypted laptop was open and unlocked. If he closed the lid, the passwords to shut down AlphaBay and seize the funds would be lost forever. So investigators faced a massive dilemma. If they kick the door down while Alexandre stays inside, the commotion gives him time to lock the computer, the encryption engages, data lost. But if they can somehow trick him into running outside on his own, police can nab him, rush inside, and secure the unencrypted laptop while it's still logged in. To force his hand, agents devised a brilliant diversion. They staged a loud car crash right into the front gate of Alexandre's house. Hearing the massive bang, he totally took the bait. He ran outside with his phone to check the noise, and instantly, officers swarmed him. The rest of the team rushed the house, found the laptop sitting wide open and unlocked, and secured the servers. In one fell swoop, they seized his $23 million fortune and dismantled both AlphaBay and Hansa Market, killing 2 massive dark web birds with one stone.
It's just a spectacular downfall, and it forces us to question everything we think we know about internet privacy. If the architect of the most sophisticated anonymous marketplace in history was ultimately brought down by a single forgotten Hotmail account from his beta testing days, well, it begs the question, does true digital anonymity actually exist? It definitely leaves you wondering just how permanent our own digital footprints are, and who might be looking at ours. Thanks for walking through this incredible explainer with me today.